My man. Now, Chris Harper scored the go-ahead touchdown against the Longhorns last season in Austin. Chris Fry sat down with the Wichita native to reflect on his journey to tonight. It's come full circle.
Thanks a lot, Shane. Here with the pride of Wichita Northwest, Chris Harper. Chris, your road to here, from Wichita to Oregon, for you personally, what will Saturday feel like, walking out on that field for the final time?
Not too much emotion for me. You know, it's a game, trying to win a Big 12 championship. You know, you can't really get too emotional. You forget why you're there. You know, you start trying to think about your whole journey and trying to put everything in perspective. You kind of got to do that when you're done. You know, you can't do that out on the field because you still got a game to play.
A lot of emotion flowing through the locker room after the Baylor loss. Did that bye week come at a perfect time for you guys to let it all out and then get back refocused for this game tonight?
Yeah, it was perfect. It was perfect. You know, we needed it. You know, for guys to put things into perspective. You know, kind of reflect on what we had to play for, and we still got a lot to play for. You know, it wasn't what we wanted to do. You know, we're not going to sit here and act like this is where we want to be at in the season. We want to be, you know, playing for national championship. But we still got a lot to play for, and I think guys understand that now.
You have a lot to play for, but does this team collectively feel like it still has a lot to prove?
Yeah. You know, I think kind of some people are kind of had sigh of relief when we lost. You know, because they didn't want to see us play. You know, I guess you're welcome. I guess people are still saying we're not as good as what our record is, which doesn't sound right. But if we go out there and win a Big 12 championship, I think that will, you know, people will understand. You know, we are a team. We just had a bad day.
How has Chris Harper grown as a man throughout the 4 years, throughout your travels?
Just maturing. You know, when I went to Oregon, you know, we did stuff a different way. Then I came out here, and like if you would have asked me out of college if I could have done this, I would have told you no. This was really tough. It was super tough, and you know, and I pushed myself further than what I could push myself, and that's something that, you know, shows me a lot about myself, and it's something that, you know, I wouldn't change it.
Last question. What in the world is that celebration dance that you do for first? I've always been curious about that. What is this? It looks like the old Arsenio Hall. You know, what is that?
It's the windmill. That's called the windmill. The guys that played with Northwest, Luke Mueller and Seth Sullivan, they did it. They're the ones that invented the celebration, and I told them that I was going to give them a shout out every time I made a play, and that's all it is. You know, a lot of people have been asking me if I'm eating. It's like, no, it's not. You're not doing it right. You got to work on your rotator cuff flexibility to be able to do it. So that's what it is. Just giving my dudes from Northwest a shout out, you know, and just trying to represent, you know, for my guys in Wichita.
A lot of Wichita representation on this team this year has led Kansas to a great season, and hopefully much more tonight against Texas. Chris, good luck to you.
I appreciate it.
We'll see you down the line. Thanks for talking to us. All right, Shane, back to you.
All right, we'll hear more from Chris later. There was a lot of in-depth game information there, but I was more excited just to find out what this finally meant, because I love when Chris Harper's out there doing it. But we do have a lot more to get to on this K-State preview show, including Heisman talk. We're going to be back. We'll hear from Chris Fry right after the break.